Good evening, everybody. I just wanted to take a minute to center myself and get in the spirit of things. As you know, or maybe you don't know, this is the 7th night for a silent minute, in where the goal is to join our thoughts, our desires, our heart's desire, our love, and our souls for a higher purpose. Hello, my sweet niece Annie. Love you so much. Thank you for being here. So, as I said, we're joining for one purpose, and the purpose is to shed light upon to open the hearts of others to the divine, being an instrument of divine purpose. I'd lay bets on that. I love you more. But let's do it a little different tonight. If you're up for it, I'll just do a brief minute or two guiding into the silent minute. I don't want to beat a dead horse with everybody on the where it came from. I can always bring that up at the end if we have more people show up. Hello, OG. It's so good to see you. Annie's trying to start a wrestle with me on who loves who more. How are you doing, OG? I hope that tonight finds you well. And you too, Annie. Angela thought you were just the cutest thing last night. You and your hot sauce. So just as a brief recap, there is information in the description, but guide me, lead me. The original Silent Minute began in 1940. Blessings to you, OG. And it was during... She is out having fun. You see what you do, Annie? You segue me, sidetrack me. Yeah, squirrel. She's out having a good time with a friend tonight. They've gone to listen to some music, but she'll probably be home around 9:30, so she'll just miss us. Hey, hello, Charlotte. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad to see you. I've been over to your guys' pages a couple times to listen. Thank you for coming. This is wonderful. It fills my heart up with so much joy. I love it. It's the little things that make us smile. I appreciate it so very much. Showing the love, that's what we're all about, is sharing love. Joining our hearts and our souls together to send out a message to bless the planet, bless our country. To protect every person and every being in the world. Because the United States isn't the only one that's in turmoil. And there is no right or wrong, one side versus the other. Here, it's all about love. It's all about shedding the light sharing the light. So just quick recap, thank you, Charlotte, is the original Silent Minute actually was inspired by an event in 1917, came about in 1940, when Britain was experiencing during the war the Nazis blitzing them every night, and they had the bells of Big Ben silenced for a while during the war. But through the events that went on in 1917, and then what Major Wellesley Tudor Pole started with the support of King George and Winston Churchill, along with his cabinet, and the BBC, they aired every night at 9 p.m. the bells chiming of Big Ben. And they called that as the signal or the sign for everybody to take that moment. Hi, Bevy! But to take that moment and to be in that silent space. And so that's what I was guided to do, was inspired to start it up again for our battles that are going on, to protect the innocent, protect everyone, so that people maybe change their mind and acts of kindness and the willingness to do good. That love basically wins out. There has been over 50 studies on the notion of meditation. And further than that, if you take it into just prayer, we know of all the countless studies that they've shown that groups of people who prayed together, that people were healed, or that a circumstance changed for somebody. So that's what this is in the vein of, is at 9 o'clock, thereabouts, stopping and just taking that moment to be still, to be silent, to know in our hearts and in our mind that time and space doesn't exist here. We are all sitting in the same room together with the same thought and the same desire to send love to the planet, to send love to our country. And for people who are in other countries, sending love to their country. And I got kind of nudged with the notion of leading this in a little bit, instead of just going right into, okay, it's 9 o'clock, let's be quiet, but to actually paint the imagery that guides us down into that loving space where we can give it a color, pink or gold, and shine that love on the planet, on our country. See it ebbing out into our neighborhoods and on down across our counties and cities, and then across our states, and that color just flows out. And every person that it touches, they all lift it up with that sense of love and that sense of goodwill and the desire to do good, or willingness to do good. So that is my goal, and I'm so glad that you guys are here to be part of this. This moment needs to go on. I am grateful for all the innocent children that have been rescued in the last year alone. there has been more children rescued from trafficking and the like than there has been in the last 20 years. And I'm a very strong advocate for child safety. Having been abused and gone through a lot of stuff, that's where my heart ultimately lands. I'm getting emotional here. Hold on a second. Let's see who just beeped me. I've been beeped. And I don't know who it is, so I don't care. um, before we move forward, is there any questions anybody has? Thank you, Charlotte. Bless you so much. I love you. Thank you for being here. Everyone's light. It's like each person lighting a candle and walking into a dark room, and the more candles that show up, the brighter the light is. So thank you all for being a light in my darkness. Now, Annie, I know your boops. And thank you for making me smile all the time. We all have our own trials and tribulations to go through. We have various hurdles to overcome. Some people might say demons to overcome. I don't like that. Fears and foibles. Sometimes it's easy to not speak up because you're afraid of the message being misunderstood, misconstrued, mistaken. I can probably think of a couple other misses. But that's my goal for 2021, is to trust in how the divine moves me, how the divine encourages. And so on that note, if nobody has any questions, I'd like to ask everybody to just exhale and let yourself kind of sit back, relax, chill for a moment, and then with the tip of your tongue behind your front teeth, just relax and let it sit there. Inhale through your nose. Nice, slow, deep breath in, and then just kind of hold for a second. And when you exhale, you're going to exhale through your mouth. The reason why we're doing that is that there's a difference in the amount of oxygen that comes out when you're breathing out of your mouth versus through your nose. You get a more cleansing breath because you are fully expelling the air. The bottom 2/3 of your lungs are what fuels your brain with oxygen. So if you kind of sit and crunch over on your computer and you find that yourself is getting tired more and more, that's because you are crushing that lower region of your lungs, and so it is not able to do its job. That's very good, Charlotte. I have spent over 50 years studying metaphysics. My mother took me when I was 7, and that's when I started meditating. And so it's been my entire life. And I have studied so many stoof. So I do teach, but it's more of an intimate thing. Being on camera I've never been a fan of it, so this has taken a lot to get used to. And I'm grateful to Pink Motivation, because if it weren't for her allowing me to be on her channel, to share thoughts and things with her, and to find that comfortable space, um, I don't think I could do this now. Uh, you've always been on your journey. You just didn't recognize the little pushes that were moving you in around certain obstacles. Thank you so very much. I get sidetracked very easy, squirrel. Um, I am I am on the autistic spectrum, but it's the very high functioning, way up there IQ kind of malarkey, and so I kind of get split in different ways with my thoughts. So if you see me kind of, it's because I'm trying to catch it. Yeah, it's so easy to push back, but because I started so young, it just was like first nature. But along the way, there were little things. And yes, squirrel. That's why I fell in love with Annie, because she used to have Squirrel Annie on her channel, and I missed the squirrel. But yeah, so now I lost myself. So we'll go on to the next thing. Let's go ahead and let's get into that space, and let's. The reason why I say this is not religion based, because everybody's point of view of what the divine is, God, Goddess, Yeshua, Jesus, and there's a bunch of other names that right at the moment are escaping me. Um, you know, Buddha, Buddhism, but there's only half. But it's personal. The journey is personal. It is yours. And nobody can tell you what is right for you. Only you can. You have to know your heart and your soul. And so by getting rid of fears, because most people fear things that they don't understand, and that becomes a stumbling block, not only for the people who are afraid, but for the people who genuinely are loving good souls, but because maybe they follow a Native American path, which I tend to. Um, Actually, mine's very broad, so there just isn't one right way. God is present in everything, in every being, in every person. And I don't care if you call God Bob. Only you know that relationship. Yahweh, Jehovah. There are so many different ways of pronouncing it. I mean, even in the books, it says that God has a million names. I forgot the number. There's a huge number. So who's to say that calling him Bob or calling her Bobette, I want to say Babbitt now, that's not one of the many names. You have to be God, not just a piece of, but you have to be that Godhead, that God sense, to know, without a shadow of a doubt that that name doesn't belong to your deity, your God, your father, your mother, your father, mother, you know, your spirit, the divine creator. I'm segueing again because I guess this is what they want. 20 some odd, almost 30 years ago, back when I lived in California, I remember sitting, waiting in huge Department of Motor Vehicles out there. It was easy to get lost in it. But I remember sitting there and looking around the room, and I just smiled to myself, and I just felt this. Look at all the many faces of God. And that has never left me. So when I look at each and every person around me, each face, it's just another face of God, because God is in each of us. My mentor gave me, as a 7-year-old, an example that I still hold on to and have shared for 50 some odd years. Imagine that the ocean, vast and endless, you really can only see the edge where you're standing, and then everything just spreads out. And that vast ocean is God. That is the source of life, the source of being, the source, period. And you have a little sand pail, and you walk out into the water, and you scoop up that water. Well, now you have a portion of that ocean in your pail, right? It is your bucket. And inside, everything that's inside that bucket is still the same stuff that's out in the ocean. It's just, you've just taken a portion of it. And that's how she described our souls, that we are part of that source scooped up into a bucket. And so no matter where we carry that bucket, no matter how far we get from that source, from that ocean, it's still God. And I understand that concept. You can't be made in the image of if that isn't in here. It's not just a cartoon caricature of, or a drawing of, or an image. The physicality that we possess, each one of us, is different. Even if we do have a doppelganger out there that looks like us. Have a wonderful night, Charlotte. Thank you. Blessings to you. Thank you so much. I'll come and visit you. Timing is everything. We missed our minute. That was 13 minutes ago. See, I got segued. Annie, why didn't you tell me to stop? Because I was supposed to run at the mouth. Okay. Anyway, I love you. And I'm going to ask that everybody take a nice deep breath in through the nose, tongue at the back of the teeth. Actually, it's more to the roof of the mouth, but and then exhale through the mouth. And just really empty the lungs. It's a very cleansing, very relaxing. You have a vagus nerve that runs through that does all kinds of wonderful things. It affects emotions. It affects your heart and how well the heart works. It also affects your digestion. But I'm not teaching the body tonight. Me running at the mouth. You know me. All right. So I'm going to close my eyes. And I'm going to ask that everybody imagine themselves sealed in a perfect, beautiful pink light. And know that this is God's love. Divine source energy wrapping you up in a bubble of protection, loving you as a child of the divine. and relax and just be present in the warmth of love. Yeshua's love, the Creator's love, God's love, Yahweh's love, the love of our ancestors. Our family is always present, held deep within our hearts. All of this love, all of their love, all of our love, shoulder to shoulder, hand in hand, heart to heart, and soul to soul. Then imagine in front of you the planet. It can be a small little bubble, a little blue marble, or you can make it as large as you like a classroom globe, and you can see it if you're focusing on the United States only, or you're focusing just on the whole globe. And then just imagine that globe sits there in this huge pink light that protects you, that seals you and surrounds you. This divine love. And if you take your left hand and just tap your heart for a moment so that your mind becomes aware of your heart. And then as you exhale, that this pink light blossoms from your heart and moves out and just covers the earth. Like you're wrapping your arms around the earth and hugging it tight to your chest. Feel the love in your heart. We can often hitchhike our attentions onto a known thing, like for a parent, their child, their firstborn, their spouse, their parent, their best friend, their dog, but something that literally makes the heart swell. And you can visualize, imagine, remember that moment. Maybe the first time you held a puppy, or you held your baby, or you held the love of your life, or the last time you held the love of your life. For those of us who've had parents who've crossed. And by invoking that sensation and the memory, the mind memory and the heart memory join, and then that you can overlay onto the planet, onto the country, onto your neighborhood, onto your neighbors. Imagine your family and friends there, all of them being blessed with this love, with this light. And anyone you know who is sick and who's in pain, that this love, this light will permeate every cell of their being. feeling how deep, how much love that we are all so capable of. Let this love blanket the earth. Let it enter into the hearts and souls of every person, every being on the planet. If even for just this minute, they can know what love feels like. Take a nice slow breath in. And exhale and let it all go. If you kind of wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, kind of help yourself get back into space, into being here and present. It's okay, Annie. Your love is felt no matter what. I want to thank you for sharing with me and being here with me. I ask for divine blessings to be upon the heart and soul of every person and every being here in this chat, and whoever may listen to it at other moments in time. And let it ring out as a voice of truth across the land. I am so grateful for now. I'm so grateful for you. I will gladly take custody of Annie tonight. I got myself. Okay, so I'm taking my glasses off for a minute, so I can't really read what you say, so bear with me a moment. I have wanted for years a honest to goodness real copper mug. Not the kind that have the tin inside, but that's, I don't know, can you see? That's solid copper. In Ayurveda, which is a science based on Sanskrit, and it's like 5,000 years old. It's all about healing and a lot of other stuff. But anyway, putting water in a copper vessel and letting it sit, the copper will leach into the water, and then you get copper for your body, which we absolutely need copper. We need it for skin integrity. We need it for cell development. We need it for collagen and elastin production. We need it for elasticity in our arterial structure. So it's very healthy. And I found this. Angela had given me a Specs card, little Christmas card thingy, gift card. I got the word out, and I just happened to look, and it was sitting right there. It was the only one. It's like mine, and so I have it. So Angela, this is yours. Well, it's mine, but it's because of you I got it. So Annie, when are you going to go live? Is Beverly still here? I heard that. I guess Beverly's gone too. Darn it. Well, oops. I closed the window and didn't mean to. Well, I figured I'd come and sit with you for a little bit if you were going to go live. Because I was going to go ahead and close this. I didn't want this to become. Yeah, no, it says two watching. I didn't know if that meant I was in it. And I was going to go over it, and I hit the wrong button. But I don't even have YouTube up, I don't think. Doesn't look like it. Well, I'm sorry that I ran people off, but that's okay. Those who are meant to hear will hear. Those who are not won't. I understand. I have complete and utter faith and trust. Let me take a quick look while we're sitting here. Come on, baby. Those who are meant to hear will hear. Those who are not won't. Okay. Yeah, it's just you and me, kid. I guess I ran everybody off. That's all right. Well, if you want, I'll shut this one down and I'll start another live, and you and I can go and chat. I can make it a soul answers all, and you can ask any questions you want, and I'll ask you questions, and we'll just have fun. Sound like a plan, Sam? I don't usually do Messenger. I very rarely do Facebook. It's an effort and struggle for me. I didn't see Sam. Did I say Sam? I didn't say Sam. I think I said webcam. I don't know. But I'll go ahead and I'll close this, and then figure out after that. Okay? All right. I'll do whatever you want. I see you later, baby girl. I love you.